If that game right there doesn't get you supporting Jose Mourinho and what's happening at Manchester United this season, I don't think any game will. Chelsea 2, Manchester United 2. We come away from Stamford Bridge with a point. Such a bogey ground for us. But at the end of the game, is that a disappointing point? It really feels like it. A 97th minute equaliser to Ross Barkley, followed by some mad scenes in front of the benches after, I think, one of Chelsea's medical staff celebrated in front of Jose Mourinho. He was not happy. He kicked off. The bench kicked off. It all kicked off. But ultimately, United come away from Stamford Bridge with a point, which you've got to be positive about because it's such a bogey ground for United. Prior to this game, 1 win in the last 16 there. But that second half performance, just from everybody. I'm not sure I can pick out an individual in that second half that I thought had a poor game. In the first half, absolutely. You know, to concede a set-piece goal, Rudiger absolutely free, Paul Pogba trying to mark him, couldn't mark him. Rudiger made it 1-0. And in that first half, the tempo of the game was so poor. I thought Chelsea played badly as well. So to concede that type of goal wasn't gut-wrenching, but United deserved to be drawing at half-time, I felt. And going into that second half, you think something's got to change for United to get back into it. And something did change. Anthony Martial decided to absolutely turn the screw. And what a wonderful second half individual performance from him, from Juan Mata, from Paul Pogba. I thought Rashford played well, thought Lukaku played well. Ashley Young, he was named man of the match, made more tackles, more interceptions and regained possession more times than any other player on the pitch. Yet we only come away from the game with a point. So that is disappointing. But that's probably the only... If you're looking at the first half, that first half was disappointing. I'm not sure you can take many positives from that first half. But that second half, we absolutely dominated this Sarri side who we were supposed to get absolutely spanked by, but didn't. And Jose Mourinho, looking at the formation that we played in that game, he started Juan Mata with Matic and Pogba. He could have started Ander Herrera there. He could have started Andreas Pereira there. Instead of being more defensive, he let Juan Mata operate in a number 10 role with Pogba and Matic playing in a midfield too, just like they did at the start of last season. And Mata was brilliant in that second half. Everybody was brilliant. You know, we were getting the balls wide to Martial and Rashford more often in that second half, and that made a big, big difference. Obviously, there was a little bit of fortune with, I think it was Ashley Young firing the ball back in, it ricocheting, but Martial's touch on his knee and quick turn and finish. Fantastic equaliser. And then United put the pressure on Chelsea. And we went for it. And then Martial just bent one into the bottom corner. You're thinking, we're 2-1 up here at Stamford Bridge. What's going on? You know, the response that we've seen from the players, from Jose Mourinho in the last couple of weeks has been great. It really has. You know, after we had Wolves, we had Derby, we had West Ham, we had Valencia. After Valencia, I said it looked like the players weren't playing for Jose Mourinho. It looked like they weren't playing for Man United. Like they'd almost down tools, like the Chelsea players did towards the end of Jose Mourinho's reign there. But then we've had the last 20 minutes against Newcastle. Then we've had that 45 minutes against Chelsea in the second half, where I've seen a United team playing like United. And Romelu Lukaku, for a man who gets so much critics, first half, nobody had less touches than him because we didn't play the ball through the middle to him. Second half, he was playing wicked. Great hold-up play when he needed to. The right decisions at the right time. Even that right foot pass he had through to Pogba at the end was great. Lukaku played well. There's not one player in that second half I would criticise. I think the back four was the real question going into that game. You saw Luke Shaw with Lindelof and Smalling and Ashley Young in that back four. But Ashley Young was named man of the match. Smalling and Lindelof, I don't think they made many mistakes at all at centre-back. And Luke Shaw had another very good, maybe not very good, another good performance at left-back. The problem wasn't our back four today. But we were poor when it came to aerial balls into our box. And maybe that's a contradiction in itself to say that. But you saw that ball going over the top. I think it went to David Luiz off the post. Where was our defence at that point, by the way? It bounced back out. Then De Gea made an incredible save, and it still dropped to Ross Barkley. There was 4 Chelsea players, I think, there. United maybe trying to play the offside trap. Wrong time to try that, lads. But ultimately, you can't be pissed off at what we've just seen there. We've seen a United team go to Stamford Bridge. A, we didn't lose. And B, we played well enough in that second half to win. We deserved to win that game. Absolutely. Don't care what anybody says. Chelsea didn't deserve a point from that second half performance. Eden Hazard kept very quiet. Chelsea started resorting to long shots. They didn't look like they had an out And their out was bringing Giroud and Barkley on, start knocking it long. Mourinho gets criticised for that left, right and centre. Let's see if Chelsea get criticised. But they won't, because they shouldn't, because they earned a point out of it. But I'm fuming that United conceded in the way, both goals actually, in fact. The first goal, poor by Pogba, but he's not a defender, so I can't begrudge him too much of that, I suppose. But you knew they were going to lock it into the box, but I can't believe there was nobody there on the edge of the 6-yard box. But I want to reiterate that point I made at the very start of the video. If that game there doesn't get you supporting Jose Mourinho until he leaves his job as Manchester United manager, then nothing will. That was a proper siege mentality performance. All the players were behind him. And Jose Mourinho losing his shit at the end, you want to see that. No doubt we get a touchline ban for it, because, you know, the FA loves doing that for Jose Mourinho. But I wanted to see that sort of reaction from him. He fucking cares. He said that he's been hurt, and he's hurt by the recent performances and the comments and everything. United fans have been hurting massively. And we wanted to see a response. And that's, for me, was what hurt me so much when I saw the 0-0 against Valencia. After the 3-1 to West Ham, I looked at it and I thought, nah, players don't give a shit. Mourinho doesn't really look like he gives a shit. That's what it felt like. But then we've had Newcastle. Now we've had Chelsea. And I said in a video earlier last week, when I said, Jose Mourinho's got 6 games, I feel, to save his job at Manchester United. Come out of this Chelsea, Juventus back-to-back in the Champions League, and Man City with Bournemouth and Everton, come out of these 6 with the right results and the right performances, Mourinho's going to have a lot more fans back on his side. And for me today, Mourinho would certainly have gained a lot more fans back on his side. United played like United. A tough, tough away game at Stamford Bridge. We deserve to win that today, absolutely. But 2, as far as I'm concerned, poor goals to concede, ruined it. And a 97th minute equaliser. That's gut-wrenching. But it's a positive performance, and it's a positive result from a ground which United have only won 1 in our last 17 at. But what do you think about the game? What do you think about Mourinho and the scenes at the end? Do you think it was embarrassing? Let me know in the comments below. If you're new to the channel, obviously subscribe to United People's TV. Until next time, take it easy.